Okay, we're going to move on to the next primitive. We're going to move on to gear. Okay, so what if you notice the last couple? They actually you don't need to use the numeric button. It actually has its own set of parameters. Unfortunately, these ones here you can't seem to view them in real time. You got to kind of just test them out and see what they look like. So we're just going to go with the default settings and see what this does. If you notice, there's some interesting things like teeth, taper, inner radius, outer radius, thickness. Okay, so these inner radius is probably how big the hole is on the inside, and outer radius is how wide it is. But let's just see what happens. Okay, so that is very, very cool. So the teeth setting would be for these guys, these protrusions that are coming out. Okay, let's undo that, and let's change. Ooh, let's see what happens if we put 40 teeth. You should get the. Sure, you'll get the idea of what's going to happen. So see, so that's pretty neat. You can change how much stuff the gear actually has. Now let's try messing around with some of the parameters. Let's go inner radius. Okay, now I think. Okay, now I know what it does. It's basically the inner radius. Let's go back again. I believe the inner radius is these polygons here, how far they go out. Now, if I'm correct on this, what will happen is that this section, if I make it, right now it's a meter, and it says the outer radius of these teeth here are 1.1 meter away from the center. So if we make this less than a meter, theoretically we can bring these in, and these teeth will be sticking out wider. So let's, or they'll be staying right where they are. Tongue twister. Okay, so let's try 0.5 meters. Ha! There we go. Neat. Okay. So something like this would be a pain to could be very much a pain to model. Okay. And there's all sorts of neat things you can do with something like this. If I were to hit the E key right now and T for move, could bring that up, and I could actually hit the stretch tool and bring some of this stuff in. So right now, okay, right now we got some polygons that are flipped. Let's go to the detail tab and let's hit unify normals. That'll should flip most of them the correct way. Some of the stuff you might have to do by hand, or worst case scenario, what you can do is just go to surface and hit, whoops, here, hit double-sided. Okay, so that's kind of neat. Okay, so like I said, these shapes aren't just limited to what they show up as, and the parameters inside. You can actually start manipulating them, and just with some basic bevels and extrusions, and you can create some really complicated looking geometry very, very fast. Okay, so let's undo that. Okay, and so sorry, let's go back to create. Go back to gear. Let's go back to 16 and 1 meter. Okay. Something like this very easily can be turned into something really cool. E key, H for stretch, whoops, and bring that in. Okay, whoops. And T for move, and then hit E again, H for stretch, okay, and then hit E again, T for move, put it up on the inside, and detail, unify surface normals. See, check that out. That's a really cool shape. This would be great for sci-fi kind of stuff. Do all sorts of stuff with this. Or, like I said, it could be an interesting futuristic kind of building or something. So, neat stuff, neat stuff. Okay, so we're going to move on to our next tool.